what's happening. That's not the scientific term. But anyway, why do you guys let me talk? Someone should raise their hand and ask a question. Okay, it's been a great panel. Any questions? Science, religion, anime, Kie, Austria? Yes.
Okay, so I know you said you did writing and stuff like that, but as a voice actor, besides recording, what else does a voice actor do?
Oh, that's good question. So, other than ADR, audio dub recording for anime, voice actors do, like, you think about where do I hear a voice and not see a face? Well, Transformers. So there's movie voice acting for live action stuff, and there's live action, like anytime you hear somebody on the radio in a, the San Andreas fault has exploded and what's his face is gonna have to save us, on the radio, that's a voice actor. It's another, recording over into the radio. When you call a major corporation, they go, thank you for calling GE. Press 1, that's a voice actor,
Yeah.
Voice actors are in, like you push a Coke machine and it goes, sorry, a voice actor has done that. When you get a toy and you pull it and it's like, bears are scary, you're like, oh, that's a voice actor who did that. We did a lot of toy work back in the day on DBZ. A lot of the toys originally had voices with them, and our voices were the ones we lent to that. So there's a lot of, video games is another place where voice acting happens. Audiobooks, that's another place where voice actors make, part of their career happen.
Oh, no.
Okay, you know what? I'm committing.
No. Don't do it.
I can balance it.
No, stop.
Next question.
Stop. He likes to sit on tables.
That was cool, right? Yes, question.
How do you get connected to the character? Do they say this voice is the perfect thing, or they just are like, this guy's a voice actor, bring him in, and it's like they try out for the role?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. Directors know people, and they know, oh, I could see Chuck doing that role. That seems like a Chuck role. Like, I don't even think I auditioned. I don't even think I auditioned for Stein. I think Stein was one of those ones where they were just like, this is oh, he's a teacher, but he's got a screw through his head, but he's also crazy into sex people. Call Chuck. And, I don't know why they think I'm crazy. Oh, you think you She's wrong. Wait, I lost the thread of the question now. What was it?
It's like, yeah, how do you get paired up? Characters.
Oh, yeah, so
how do you choose what voice also that you're going to do?
Sometimes the directors know you and they hear the voice. As actors, we always listen to the Japanese actor, and we try to embody the characterization that they did. So like if the Japanese actor is angry and gruff and kind of, you will embody that same sort of attitude, although the voice may not match up perfectly. You try to take the acting characterization that the Japanese actor did. And then for me, getting into the character personally, I always physicalize a lot. I'm physically, if I'm playing a big character, my chest becomes large. If, like Austria, for a while, I couldn't do Austria without flicking my hands around like this. I don't know why. It just was something I needed to do to make the voice come out of my face. I find myself physically acting the character out, but to find characters, sometimes what I'll do is bad imitations. So like, and I say, because a lot of times people will come up to the table and they'll be like, yeah, listen to my kuwabara. I'm like, yeah, sure, show me your kuwabara. And then you're like, oh, that's a great kuwabara. And imitate or doing impressions, that's not, that's typically the realm of comedians. Comedians do impressions. Voice actors don't do impressions because you get in trouble if you do an impression. You're like, yeah, this is my turtle called Wacky Turtle, and he sounds just like Mickey Mouse. Actually, that'd be kind of awesome. But you don't try to sound like another character to like portray it as that character. But what I like to do is try my best imitation of something, and then that turns into my original character. Like Emperor Pilaf for Dragon Ball and the Dragon Ball Z movies is actually just my best impression of Edith Bunker from All in the Family. Oh, Archie, oh, I'm Emperor Pilaf. Oh, look, there he is. There's my character right there. So Emperor Pilaf is really a 60-year-old woman from Queens. Which I like to keep as his backstory. Yeah, so like you try to do, like if you do a bad imitation, that can become your perfect original character. That's where artists say, good artists steal, bad artists imitate. So if you try to imitate someone, it usually typically ends up being bad. But if you steal from them, like I stole from Edith Bunker, I stole it from her, but it didn't take away anything that she did. Whereas if I try to imitate, that does take away from the other person, unless you're mocking them horribly as a comedian, in which case any press is good press. More questions? Yes?
What's it like going to a con and meeting people that are very hyped about your character?
It's terrible. You guys are all jerks. It's amazing. It's amazing to get to do what I do. I travel all over the world. Jess and I are going to Australia and New Zealand in October. I just came back from Dublin several months ago. So like getting to go all over the world and see all the different anime fans, which is amazing because you are all exactly the same. All over the world. I was like, I wonder if Italia fans in Poland are going to squeal and cover their faces. And then you go, oh, I'm Austrian. And they go, oh. I'm like, oh my God, it's totally what they do in America. How did you all learn to do that together at the same time? Which goes back to Electric Universe's Morphic Fields, but that's a different story. But yeah, going to the conventions is awesome. And having people flip out over characters is an honor. And I always say that we are, as voice actors, gifted with all the incredible work of the Japanese artists who came before to draw the beautiful pictures and write the wonderful characters. And then we get to be the English sort of dub actor. But there's no way to love those two-dimensional characters, so we get to be the receivers of all the love of that character, which is amazing. And has a responsibility with it where many times, typically once or twice a convention, someone will come up to me, and it's always a handwritten letter, and they hand it to you, and they're like, "You read this later, thanks," and they walk away, and you're like, "Okay," and you open the letter, and it's some amazingly triumphant and tragic story of their childhood and how Hiei got them through, and they would have killed themselves, or after their mother died, they didn't know how to go on, and Shin-chan made it okay every day. And, they have these moments that you were a part of, but you didn't know you were a part of. I had one occasion to call someone. I will do fan requests like that, though. Like my buddy, my friend's in the hospital. Will you call her? She really loves Hiei. You're like, okay, and I always have a list of things like that I'm doing, and I don't get to them right away. Sometimes it takes me 2 weeks or 2 months to get to all the stuff I need to do, but I always get to it eventually.